I had tried to get clean several times, and it wasn't until I dropped out of college and got into a DUI, and I was in jail for like a week, and then when I got out, the kids were getting taken. I dropped out of school. My car got impounded because I got into a DUI. I was in jail, and like nobody would talk to me, everybody was mad. Calvin, he's about to turn 6, so he was like 3.5 during that time. I missed his birthday a couple times. The last 2 years I missed his birthday. Nobody would let me see him on his birthday. That killed me. I smoked all the time, smoked pot and cigarettes. And we drank, like we'd hide it in the garbage cans at school and stuff. My mom wasn't really ever around. She was always working, gone, doing whatever. Like, yeah, I've seen her overdose a couple of times, but she always like worked during the whole thing. My dad was in prison for 3.5 years. I lived with friends, and so did my brother. He had a girlfriend and other friends. My little brother kind of got tossed around between the family, so that was kind of sad.
What we've found with the people we've worked with here is they have great need, and a lot of the offenses they commit is based on their quality of life or their lack of quality of life.
And then what is undoubtedly discovered, because what we have discovered with this population that we're serving is that there's a lot of mental health issues, there are severe medical issues, and there might also be drug and alcohol components to it.
Really the number one provider of mental health services and addiction services is not Catholic Charities, it's the jail system.
Because we discovered that people that are, as they say, frequent flyers of the jail are also frequent visitors to the emergency department.
We are putting people in jail at an alarmingly huge pace for inconsequential crimes, misdemeanor crimes, crimes related to drugs or mental health, when really we should be treating those people. We should be treating them with dignity and with housing and with case management and counseling so that they don't have to spend, cost the taxpayers $140 a night to be in jail. They can be at the House Charity for $7.28 a night.
They run your name, you just get pulled over, you're going to jail if they run your name because you have a warrant. Even just a misdemeanor warrant, they'll pick you up. Then you get booked and released and stuff. That happened probably 9 times.
And so that impacts the community exponentially. For as much as it costs us to put somebody in jail, the city, $130 per day, if somebody makes an emergency room visit for something like a cold or for seeking shelter, frankly, and that happens many times with someone that has no place else to go and they are cold and they haven't made their way to a shelter, it's at least $1,300 to make their way in. Community Court got started courtesy of me. My benchmates and I took on the mantle of doing things somewhat differently than what had been previously done. And that was because each of us had had a number of years of experience in a system where a person would come into court, they would be traditionally sentenced with jail and a probation term, And we could each relate to that not making a terribly big difference in the impact on the person in many instances, and also not an impact really on the recidivism rate, as well as the quality of life in the city of Spokane. When I approached this court and the development of it, I had many ideas about what I had in mind for where it should go and how it should function. And one of the main things was I did not want it in the traditional court. I wanted it at the downtown library, is where it ended up. It is a safe haven. The library welcomes anybody in and continues to this day to welcome anybody in there, including the homeless population or the transient or those that are having difficulties in life. Anybody from birth to 90 years old and above, anyone can go to the library.
Are you done?
I'm done. I'm through.
Darned. Going quick today.
No, I ain't got to come back.
Oh, you said you're all done.
I won't be homeless no more.
That's cool, Raymond.
That's his job for today, is handing out lunches.
Thank you, man.
Well, I think for us, community court is a very important resource in this community. I've been here 16 years, and I'm not sure that there's any program, even a Catholic Charities program, for the homeless or the chronically low income or the chronically addicted or the chronically mentally ill. I'm not sure there's any Catholic Charities program that's had more impact on that group than community court has. So it's an important resource in our community. We originally got involved because of the natural connection with Our House Charity Homeless Shelter and some of our homeless family housing projects downtown, because really our programs mesh up with the mission of community court in terms of giving people not just second chances or third chances, but giving people the best chance. And that's what community court is. It's not necessarily a second chance or a third chance, it's the best chance. And for people who are struggling with homelessness and addiction and mental health, a thing like community court gives them a ray of hope that they would have never had otherwise, and a path to more stability and a better life.
We want you also to be able to give back to the community. You're not going to go bring a letter from Seattle saying that you did community service. You got to do the community service where the crime is committed. So if you commit the crime downtown, you go to downtown service providers, people that provide services in the community, that provide services for the homeless community in Spokane. You go to them, find out what you can do, and then do something, whatever it is. Clean garbage, wash plates, fold envelope, give something back. But we promise you that if you do that, whatever the problem, whatever the challenges that you are facing in life, we will be there with you. We will walk with you. We will not leave you, to go care for these things yourself. We will go be above and beyond the call of duty to ensure that all the services you need are provided to you.
In this court, when someone missteps, we realign. We see what we did wrong to help them do better next time. So there's a conversation that goes on. So we're looking at the individual rather than just looking at a case and criminal history. So in the traditional court, I measured my success as 30, 60, 90 days in jail for each individual. Try to get them plead guilty, get them on probation, and give them jail time. And I kept on seeing the same people over and over and over again without any net result. In this court, I look at the individual, I talk to them more so than I ever would in a traditional court. I acknowledge them as people. I look them in the eye, I shake their hand, and there's an accountability there. And there's a response there from the individual who's participating in community court that I never received in the traditional court. In this court, I recognize people. I'm not processing cases. And that's where I've come in my career and in my profession, is that I'm actually back to why I became a lawyer, which was to make a difference in people's lives. So what we're trying to do is stop the behavior that results in people being arrested and sent to jail. I was going to do everything I could, hell or high water, to get this court going. And so there was a lot of sacrifices that went into that. Time, energy, there was a lot of pushback from people, and I wasn't going to let that deter me like it had deterred me in other projects. And so I knew we could get this court going.
You know, I think the community court works because it's about grace and forgiveness and not about punishment. And as a society, until we get our brains around the idea that grace and forgiveness are much more powerful than punishment, we're going to be spinning our wheels. Community court is a chance for people to go through a process that leads to them having dignity and a fresh start.
Mr. Smith, he successfully completed his community service. He's actually going to Texas to be with some family, so let's all wish him the best of luck in Texas. Okay.
Community court allows people to kind of get a chance back at their lives. And with a lot of partners and a lot of great people that are working with community court, that's the first step, is having that moment where normally you'd end up in a courtroom and then a jail cell. You instead end up in community court in the library with a set of goals that are actually attainable for you.
I just love seeing all those people down there. When even just the people there, they look forward to coming to community court, so they get their lunch and this and that, and I just enjoy being able to see people that I know and feel comfortable, and it's hey, it's nice seeing you again. And then you start to care about those people, and to see them keep coming back, and you're yep, they're getting their life together too. So it's just you're not alone. You got people down there supporting you, but also following you or being together with you in that same situation. You can relate to them.
Tiana embodied the process by doing her community service immediately. She met with every service provider that we asked her to meet with immediately. And you could see a total difference in her life occur in just the course of a few weeks. She went from being in a desperate situation where she's accused of a crime which was a product of her circumstances, and she went to a circumstance where she was taking care of herself, and now she's willing to take care of others. With her graduation and her willingness to intercede with other patrons of community court and share her story with them and help them through the process and encourage them, hey, get your community service done. Get in there and see those treatment providers. There's a better way for you. That is what we want. We want other people to help other people get further ahead and not have these types of criminal charges in the future.